Now, in Kano, which saw some of the largest crowds today, gunshots were fired after protesters set alight tires to make a bonfire in front of the governor's house. Well, a communication industrial park was set on fire days before its scheduled launch, and private facilities worth millions of naira were looted. The state government has imposed a 24-hour curfew to forestall further breakdown of law and order.
Well, the end bad governance protest in Asaba Delta State capital ended abruptly at 2 p.m. after police dispersed protesters with tear gas and prevented them from reaching the government house. The protest began at 11 a.m. with two protesters gathering at Iterbwa Road. Despite heavy security, they were soon joined by dozens more marching through Nebisi Road towards the government house, but were blocked by police. Protesters were dispersed with tear gas at Iterbwa, with police citing concerns about potential violence.
Well, for more, we're joined in our off-site studio by Ofobruku. He's a two-time member of the Delta State House of Assembly. Also with us is human rights activist Adeyanju. Thank you so much, both of you gentlemen, for joining us on Newsnight tonight. Let me start with you, Deji. I mean, you were here a few days ago, talking about preparations ahead of this protest. Now, day one, in spite of pleas and, attempts by authorities to say, look, calm things down, don't go ahead because things may go bad, things might turn violent. You did go ahead. Let me get your assessment of this outing today. Yes,
day one was very good, considering the fact that there was a lot of threats issued by governments and government sympathizers. The government even tried to sponsor fake news, attributing it to organizers that the organizers had called off the protest. It's noteworthy to say that the protesters and Nigerians were generally resilient in sticking to their guns and insisting that the fundamental rights of citizens must be respected, and that protest is one of the key ways that people can actually make their grievances heard. Having said that, it's also important to stress the fact that what we saw today was brazen attack by police in particular against unarmed protesters across the length and breadth of the country. The army were more professional in many states. For instance, I'll speak for the FCT in Barabayaya. The people were hailing the military, but they were insulting the police, who opened fire on armed protesters unprovoked. Police also killed people in Borno, in Kano, in Suleja here, and injured many people. And in our view, we sincerely feel that this should not go unpunished. The Inspector General of Police should be held responsible. He gave the order for these crimes that were committed against the Nigerian people.
Let's bring in Efe. Efe, good to see you. Earlier, our reporters gathered that in Delta State, they had just two persons who stood out there, and pretty much later, as the crowd grew, they were ultimately dispersed. How has it been as also a community leader in Delta with this protest which you witnessed before coming to the studio?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I will say that for Delta State, Mr. President and the federal government of Nigeria, they have some strong supporters. People believe in the Asiwaju administration. People believe in the abilities of Mr. President to turn things around. They have the likes of Chief James Onanefe Ibori, the former governor of Delta State, the likes of the former Deputy Senate President, Deputy President of the Senate of the 9th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Obarese Obioma Agege. You have the likes of Chief Ayiri, Emami, the Lobo Sheriff of Warri, High Chief Government Epomukolo, alias Tompolo, and many others who stood in the gap to reach out to the people of Delta State, to prepare their minds as to what will happen today, and to douse the tension. I think the NDDC management, led by Shedu Ebe, chairman, and Samuel Buku as MD, they also did a lot in trying to make sure that they reach out to the people of the Niger Delta, particularly Deltans, not to be a part of the protest. Let me say this. As Niger Deltans, if you want to talk about protests, we should be the ones blazing the trail. We should be the ones leading the protest, because we are the ones that are most affected. We are the ones that have suffered the lack more than other Nigerians. But guess what? We also understand that this president was given a job to do for 4 years in the first instance. Even in the civil service, when you get employed, you have 2 years of period of probation. If you are seen to be doing well, your employment is confirmed. This president has not even enjoyed the benefit of the doubt of civil service 2 years probation period. So as Deltans, we have resolved to give the president the benefit of the doubt, because we believe he can deliver, we believe he can perform. Hence, we have for now decided to stay away from the street, to stay away from protests. Let us see the effort being put in by this administration to see to it that our needs, our aspirations, they are all met. But let me add this. I think this is the right time for Mr. President to fire some people. Some people should lose their jobs by tomorrow, because it is obvious that the good intentions of Mr. President is not being felt by the people of Nigeria. It's not seen in the street. I can tell you for free that at the moment, the good intentions of Mr. President is like a man who is standing in the dark and blinking. When you are in the dark and you are blinking, nobody will see what you are doing. So the people who are working with our president, the good intentions, the agenda of Mr. President, the renewed hope agenda is not being cascaded to the grassroots. The people can't feel it. That is why you are seeing the uprising. So it's not enough to sit in Abuja and be doling out good intentions. Who is receiving the good intentions? Who is feeling the good intentions? So some people should lose their jobs. Because I can say to you, just like in football, when you say some people have become match rusty, I can tell you for free, in governance, some of the appointees have become leadership rusty. So they should lose their job. Let those who know what to do, those who can do the job, come on board and get the job done. Otherwise, I can tell you that Mr. President means well and is doing everything he can within his abilities to make sure that the good dividends of democracy that we are all yearning for gets to the people. So people stood in the gap for Mr. President in Delta. Right. That is why the tension is not very high in Delta.
Thank you very much. Adeyanju, you heard him there. He says, look, this president needs a benefit of the doubt. He was employed to do a 4-year job. 1 year too early to, totally discount this government and its performance. Now, you have made your point today. This whole, protest was built to last 10 days. You've done day one. Don't you think your message has been, effectively and strongly put across in a way that you should, pipe things down so things don't get out of hand?
Yes, as one Twitter user humorously put it, he said, first year, they say give Buhari more time. Second year, give Buhari more time. Third year, give Buhari more time. Up to the 8th year, politicians were still saying give Buhari more time, that he has the best intentions. If this president, which we agree that he's not the main cause of all our economic or problems in the country, if in just 1 year he has been able to push Nigeria to this kind of economic brink, where a dollar moved from about 600 to almost to about 1.6. Again, this president has moved food prices, tripled the prices. Nigerians can barely survive. People are eating food from the dustbin in many parts of the country. And that is why Nigerians are protesting. And the shirt I'm wearing is self-explanatory. This president is a habitual protester. He has always been protesting.
Yeah, you made that point, Deji, definitely. You made it on the show the last time you were here.
So,
but my point is, now that this protest has gone ahead, we've seen the outcome today, on day one. Lives have been lost. Bonfires, it was scary for me coming to work today, and I'm sure for a lot of Nigerians who had to, go out there. Don't you think the point has been made strongly enough to, rein this in?
Our plan was for the protest not even to take place in the first place.
Right.
We wanted a situation where government has seen all our demands. Government will meet us halfway, even if not at the end of the Rubicon. But government is not willing to shift ground. And Nigerians, it is important to put it on record that I'm one of the lawyers to the protesters. And we continue to interface with the protesters daily. Even we've been interfacing with them for the past 3 weeks in the build-up to the preparation of this protest. Because government is not willing to shift ground or meet the protesters halfway. The protesters too have stuck to their guns, and they are saying that it's going to be 10 whole stretch, 10 days stretch. And majority of the violence that have been reported were perpetrated by the police. At the Federal Secretariat and the 3-arm area, we were attacked unprovoked and non-stop for several hours by the police. Unprovoked. They attacked armed protesters. Immediately we go to the 3-arm area. Because thugs were brought to the stadium where we were peacefully holding the protest in line with the interim order that was brought to our attention, even though we had not fully seen the content. Right. Government vehicles escorted 6 buses to the venue where the protesters were having the protest. So the protesters panicked and got scared and said, we must leave here to a more secure location, which is the 3-arm area.
You know, we have to be very careful. You're also a lawyer. You're very sure you saw government vehicles transporting thugs?
Arise crew was there. They were captured.
Well, I think we'll stay on this. We'd like to thank you for your time, Deji Adeyanju, and FA, who's a 2-time lawmaker in Delta State. Gentlemen, it's been a delight speaking with you both here on Newsnight.